All right, in this problem we're asked to find the domain and the range, but we're given a graph. And whenever we're given a graph, it becomes pretty easy to find the domain and the range. Normally, the domain is okay if we're given a function. The range is a little bit more difficult when we're given a function. But when we're given a graph, it becomes a little bit easier. So let's start here with the domain. When we want to look at the domain, we want to look at our graph, and we want to look at where the graph exists. What we want to imagine doing is from each point on the graph, dropping a line straight down to the x-axis. So if we kind of imagine, well, there's a point here, we drop a line down, we're going to have a point here on the x-axis. And then for all these points, we're going to have something on the x-axis. So we're going to have some sort of domain point here on our x-axis, all the way until we get up to this last point at the end of our graph. Notice it's an open circle, and the open circle means that there is not a point there. That means when we come down to our 4 here, we're going to have an open circle here. So it looks like our domain is everything between 1 and 4, including 1, but not including the number 4. So the domain, written in interval notation, is everything between 1 and 4. Since we do include 1, because there is a point there, we will put a bracket here on the 1, and since we do not include the 4, we put a parenthesis on the 4. So there's the domain, all x values between 1 and 4, including 1, not including 4. Okay, for the range, we do a similar sort of technique, but instead of looking at our points and drawing lines down, we look at our points and draw lines over. So we start here, and we notice that at 1 here, we're going to have a point, and that if we draw these lines, it goes like this, all the way over, all the way up top here. And then notice that up top here, it actually will have a point up here at the top, so there's a point up here. Now it drops back down, and these points will still hit these same values. Even though we have an open circle here, so it wouldn't hit, the fact that the point right here did hit means that this open circle will have nothing to do with our range. So the range here, or I should say it's not going to affect our range. Our range will be everything between 1 and 3, and we do want to include 1 and we do want to include 3. So the range here are all the values, y values, between 1 and 3. And we use brackets because we do want to include those points.